Welcome to WarThunder Naval. I am Commander Tyrael, and I love big ships. The latest Wing Lions patch brought Germany something exciting in the form of a World War II era capital ship, and I felt compelled to make a video highlighting it. The Scharnhorst is a battle rating 6.3 battlecruiser that is currently the most advanced ship in the game. Designed to outrun what it Cant Outgun, it is quite literally the most powerful ship currently available. Today I will give you a little history on the ship and its class, and show you a match that shows off its true potential. The Scharnhorst class was a class of German battleships or battlecruisers built immediately prior to World War II. The first capital ship of Nazi Germany's Kriegsmarine, it comprised of two vessels, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau. They marked the beginning of German naval rearmament after the Treaty of Versailles, and were the first class of German ships to be officially classified by the Kriegsmarine as battleship. Previously, German battleships had been classified as ships of the line or as armoured ships. Their adversary, the Royal Navy, rated them as battlecruisers, but after the war they reclassified them as battleships. The ships were armed with 9 28cm or 11-inch SKC-34 guns in 3 triple turrets, 2 on the foredeck in a super firing arrangement and 1 aft. Plans were to replace these with 6 38cm or 15-inch C-34 guns in twin turrets, but this was never realised. Commissioned into the German fleet in early 1939, Scharnhorst and Gneisenau operated together for the early years of World War II, completing sorties into the Atlantic to raid British merchant shipping. During operations off of Norway, the two ships engaged the battlecruiser HMS Renown and sank the aircraft carrier HMS Glorious on the 8th of June 1940. During the engagement, Scharnhorst achieved one of the longest naval range gunfire hits in history at a range of 24.2 kilometers. HMS Glorious was hit by at least 3 shells and reduced to a burning hulk. At 7 p.m, the carrier capsized and sank. In early 1942, the ships made a daring daylight dash up the English Channel from occupied France to Germany. This was a major propaganda coup for the Germans, and it earned the two ships the scorn of Winston Churchill and the Royal Navy. The Treaty of Versailles, which established the terms concluding World War I, restricted German naval shipbuilding to warships displacing no more than 10,000 long tons. Debates in Germany over the role and size of its navy continued through the 1920s, when increased naval shipbuilding in France and the Soviet Union prompted Germans to begin drawing up designs for large capital ships. These ships would displace 19,000 tons and have the same armament and speed as the battleships of the time. The extra tonnage would be taken up by the increased protection. Hitler wanted to follow this course, so he could not be seen to be as overtly flouting the Treaty of Versailles. He did not realise that such unsinkable commerce raiders would provoke Great Britain more severely than a 26,000-ton battlecruiser ever could. High-ranking officers in the Kriegsmarine also shared this view, which saw the 19,000-ton design as being unbalanced. Hitler agreed to increase armour protection and internal subdivision, but refused to permit an increase in armament. Finally, in February 1934, Hitler acquiesced over the addition of the third turret, and the new ship would displace 26,000 long tons and be armed with 9 28.3 guns in 3 triple turrets. To secure political freedom to build the new ships, Hitler ratified the Anglo-German Naval Agreement, which guaranteed Great Britain a 3-to-1 superiority in capital ships, but most importantly, removed the limitations of the Treaty of Versailles on the German Navy. Scharnhorst was powered by 3 Brown Bavarian Co. geared steam turbines, while Gneisenau was equipped with 3 Germania geared turbines. The turbines drove 3-bladed screws that were 4.8 meters in diameter. Steam was provided to the turbines by 12 Wagner ultra-high pressure oil-fired water tube boilers. The engines were rated at 150,811 shaft horsepower at 265 RPM. The ship has a design speed of 31 knots or 57 kilometers. But on trials, both vessels beat their design speed, with Scharnhorst reaching 58.3 kilometers per hour. At maximum fuel load, the ships were expected to steam for 15,000 kilometers at a cruising speed of 35 kilometers per hour. Unfortunately, Scharnhorst reached only 7,100 nautical miles at 35 kilometers an hour. Electrical power was supplied to the ships by 5 electricity plants, each plant consisting of 4 diesel generators and 8 turbo generators. The ships were built with a main battery of 9 11.1-inch quick-firing guns. While these guns were smaller caliber than the main guns of many other navies, they were still preferred by a number of gunnery officers in the Kriegsmarine due to their high rate of fire. The guns were equipped with 3 different types of shells, an armor-piercing and 2 high-explosive shells, a type with a base fuse and a type with a nose fuse. They fired these shells at a rate of 3.5 rounds per minute. The turrets were named in alphabetical order from the bow of the ship: Anton, Bruno, and Caesar. Traverse speed was 7.2 degrees per second. The turrets allowed a depression of the guns of -8 degrees for the A and C turrets, while B turret was capable of depressing to 9 degrees. At maximum elevation, the guns could hit targets out to 41 kilometers. The ships also carried a secondary battery of 12 15cm quick-firing guns, and these guns were mounted in 4 twin turrets and 4 single pedestal mounts. The anti-aircraft battery consisted of 14 10.5cm guns, 16 3.cm guns, 16 3.7cm guns, and between 10 and 38 2cm guns. After 1942, 6 53.3cm deck-mounted torpedo tubes were taken from the light cruisers Leipzig and Nuremberg and installed on the ships, with storage for 18 G7A torpedoes. Both ships were equipped with 2 sets of Seacat radar, which operated at 14 kilowatts, and the sets were later upgraded to operate at 100 kilowatts on an 80cm wavelength. The ships were equipped with Krupp armor, an armored deck 50mm thick, backed by the main armor deck. It was supported by 105mm thick slopes on either side, an arrangement referred to as the turtle deck. As such, the ship's vitals were well armored against any caliber shell fired by battleships, at where the shell would have to penetrate both the main belt and the sloping deck. At very long ranges, the deck armor could be easily penetrated by heavy caliber shells. The armoured belt was 350mm thick in the central position of the ship, where the critical areas of the ship are located, and the belt armour was composed of Krupp cemented steel. The side protection system could not be penetrated by a 16-inch shell at any range over 11,000 metres. The forward conning tower had 350mm thick sides. The gun turrets for the main battery had 360mm faces, 200mm sides, and 150mm roofs. The barbettes were 350mm thick, and the faces of the 15cm turrets were 140mm thick. The 10.5cm gun mounts were equipped with 20mm gun shields. All of this armour was KC steel. The underwater protection system was designed to withstand a direct hit from a 250 kilo warhead. British aerial torpedoes had smaller warheads than this, but their ship-launched weapons were more powerful. Tests revealed that the welded steel construction withstood the impact of a 250 kilo warhead easily. Although the underwater side protection had numerous faults, it was extremely strong amidships, but weakened at either end of the citadel. The underwater protection could only stop 200 kilo warhead in these areas. Also, the beam of 30 meters meant that the protection system had to be weaker around the main battery turrets, as a significant amount of hull space was taken up by the magazines and barbettes. In WarThunder, because of these design philosophies, it makes it extremely hard to kill. There isn't currently a gun in the game that can damage you through the citadel side on. This is nothing. Can't do it. The only way you can kill this thing is repeatedly shooting it. and this requires your entire team to work together. Or alternatively, another Scharnhorst. The main weakness for this ship does appear to be torpedo strikes. However, any competent captain will be able to anticipate a torpedo strike. Having such a great rudder control as well lends itself well to avoiding such attacks. And being of such a long design, you are able to wiggle your way through. Firing 3.5 rounds per minute from 9 fast-tracking guns allows you to effectively engage multiple opponents at once. Travelling up to 56 kilometers an hour and having heavy bow armament allows this ship to be the true tip of the spear for your team. As it stands, there are no guns in the game that can effectively penetrate its defences reliably, and it requires a concerted effort from the enemy team to bring you down. Ironically, its own main armament struggles to penetrate other ships of the same class, and you will find that most Scharnhorst players generally ignore each other. Like all capital ships though, if you don't have a good grasp on repair team management, you may not have as much fun as you expect to. With your main enemy in the Scharnhorst being flooding, which can build up rapidly if you're not paying attention. For everyone that has to fight one of these monstrosities, the only reliable method is a direct bomb hit between the turrets A and B, or approximately 2 or 3 deep running torpedo strikes. This ship was literally designed to bully smaller ships and run from anything that was heavy enough to hurt it. As a result of this, you cannot expect a fair fight. You cannot expect a balanced fight against this class of ship. This is the nature of naval warfare. For me, this marks the start of something much bigger in WarThunder Naval. My only hope is to garner enough support to have Naval EC instituted full time, so that we can truly appreciate the amount of work that has gone into these ship models. And as you can see, I've basically carved my way through the enemy fleet. I'm the only survivor on my team. Anyone that I couldn't kill, I just continued to run from or push past. And as we cross around the point ahead, I'm reaching my intended target and historically accurate target of the Convoy. Now, stay with me for a while and see what it takes for the other team to take me down. You will not be disappointed. And I'll be back soon. And as I fast approach 500 subscribers, I'd like to take a second to thank all of you that have supported me up until this point. It has been an extremely fun ride. I'm so glad that I took the time to pick up this little skill called video editing, and I look forward to the future with you. Cmdr, out.